Hello, Tom Levecchia here with the latest edition of the New Theory Podcast. Today is a special show. This is going to be for people that own a business. These are people that want to grow a brand. This is very people that want to grow their personal brand, whether it be a real estate agent, life insurance agent, etc. But also people that want to get better at social media. We got the Garbino brothers of TRBO Media, TRBO, Michael and Chris Garbino. Gentlemen, welcome to the New Theory Podcast. How you doing today?
Yeah, good. Thank you for having us today. Excited to be here.
All right, so this is going to be good. All right, so first let's start off with social media. Things are changing. Obviously, it's very dynamic, changing almost by the day in terms of trends, what to do, what not to do. First, why is it important for a business brand, personal brand, etc.? Why is it important to have a social media presence? We know the obvious reasons, but what are some of the major reasons from your standpoint?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with social media is it's this new age technology that in the past, 10, 15 years, it's something that we didn't have. And it's an asset that's free for a business. So like having social media is so important to help grow your brand, because think about what's in your pocket. What do you look at every single day? What do you consume so much? It's your friggin' cell phone. You use it so much.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we obviously know you have to be on social media. But one of the recent trends, whether it be YouTube Shorts, Reels, and obviously TikTok, video and short form content, which is you guys' specialty.
Huge.
When did that start about, and then why is it so important to be ahead in the short form game?
Yeah, I mean, for us, like it kind of started a little bit, when social media was getting a little more popular, kind of towards 2017.
A little bit of TikTok.
Yeah, a little bit of TikTok and stuff like that.
Came out, that's when short form really started to push.
Yeah. So, I mean, but for a company that's looking to, get into social media to build their brand, I think it's so important just to use what you have. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the biggest thing is you want to make sure that, whether you have a little bit of time or a lot of time for your business, business owners are very busy. We want to make sure that, we can help you if we can. But if you're not there yet, just using what's in your pocket is such a great tool.
So it's almost like film whatever and post versus not film whatever.
Posting in general is always going to be better than not posting. I mean, it's getting out there and being consistent. Consistency is key in this game, really.
All right, because I do work with these guys. I know these guys pretty well. Part of the reason I want to have you on is I want to put together kind of the architect and playbook for people, whether to use you or not use you. Give us kind of the foundational tips. Okay, we're starting a social media program. I want to get more people to come through the door. I want more people for the phone to ring, etc. And we're going to focus this on Instagram and TikTok short form video. Mm-hmm. What's the first step?
So for us, basically the first step is obviously use the tools you have. There's no reason to go out and buy thousands of dollars worth of equipment just yet. I think the first step is just trying it, getting out there, getting used to using the camera. There's so many, again, free things you could use on the App Store, on the Google Play Store that could kind of get you there. CapCut is always a big thing that people talk about. You know what I mean? And for what it is, it's a decent tool for people who aren't in a professional landscape just yet. And even sometimes us, we'll jam things in CapCut if we got to do something on the fly really quick because it's easy and simple. That's your starting base of cell phone, and kind of get in front of the camera, get behind the camera, and showcase your business. For us, our kind of name to fame is food, right? We love dealing with restaurants and restaurant owners. And any spare time you have where you could do once, twice, 3 times a week, that's where, you're just going to start building your social media and getting in front of people and creating a following.
Okay, so we think we agree Reels, grab the phone, use CapCut, pretty straightforward. What about how often should you post?
Just starting out, probably 3 times a week as a business owner, right? I think more than that sometimes it could be a negative, right? Because then people are seeing you every single day, which you might love, but they might not as much sometimes. So that's kind of where it's an argumentative topic, how many times a week, but I think 3 times a week is a good medium for anyone.
I noticed you guys, although you're heavy on film, when you do have a scope of work, you include still. Walk us through where still is important, and is it a carousel? Is it a short? A story. Mm-hmm. Where do stills fit in, and how do you weave the story into the brand story?
Yeah, so stills in the social media aspect are great to use on the photo of a reel, right? Because you could actually choose kind of what picture you want, the thumbnail on the reel. So that's great for stills. Stills are great right now, of course, like we said, it's always changing every single day, but they're great for carousels. But stills should be blended into your social media landscape, wherever you're using it, because you still want to have a nice ebb and flow to your page where it's not just all video.
So yeah, you could do thumbnails on Reels. Can you do thumbnails on TikTok?
Yeah, I think you get it at the thumbnail. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I don't think it's as
Usually
Yeah.
it's a GIF on the TikTok type
Yeah.
of. It gives you a few seconds of that clip.
Got it. Oh, okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I noticed for shorts, YouTube Shorts, you got to go on the actual edit and move around on the part that
And
you
pick
like.
where you want. But I think for shorts you could still also pick a thumbnail, I believe, as well.
Oh, for you, that's good. Okay, so I think we're chatting more with you about this, where you guys focus more. Okay, don't get me wrong, you do great social media, you do filming, all that kind of great stuff, but it's really about building the brand and then using social media as a conduit for that. I'll ask you first. What are some of the top tips to growing a brand online via social media?
Yeah, for social media, I mean, and marketing in general, I always think of it as my example is like it's baking a cake, right? Yeah. If you forget an ingredient, it doesn't taste good, right? Yeah. So having social media as one of those ingredients to the cake, I think is really important to make sure that you're in front of it and you're growing it and you're consistent, like Chris was saying, and using that pillar in while you're building your brand. Now, also, you want to use all of the content that we're giving you to help build your brand through web, through SEO, through all of these kind of avenues. Again, baking that cake, making sure you have all the right ingredients to set your business up for success.
You hit the nail on the head before we get to Chris, where a lot of times people just make a short and put it on Instagram and maybe just on Reels, but it should be on Shorts. You could put video even on Pinterest. You could maybe post it online to a blog and try to get backlinks for it. So it's almost like a combat multiplier by having that one piece of video content and go up to almost 10 places.
Yeah.
And not even just 10 places, but also having that now and then building 10 or 12 pieces of content and then combining them later to make kind of a compilation is something you can also do, right? So the bigger the library is, the more you can create from the library.
All right. And I know I'm asking for a lot of the secret sauce, but in the past, we would use, I forget what was the name one we'd use, but you would post a one piece of content. This is before video. But one piece of content and would push down on 30 platforms.
Yeah.
But I was told then and even now, you can do that for video now, but the organic push will not be as good. You need to put it natively on the platform. Is that true?
You're talking in terms of like keeping it on the feed natively instead of an advertisement?
Yeah, so what was it called? What was the big one that you would put Twitter and Facebook and
MySpace?
And you would put them on the platform, the photo, and it would push out to all the different social mediums.
Oh, kind of like a Hootsuite.
Hootsuite,
that's the big one.
So my question is, I was told now you can use a Hootsuite type thing with a video and push it down on all the platforms to make it easier, but I heard it doesn't do as well if you post it natively.
So yeah, we use some technologies to do that, similar to Hootsuite. We think it's important to not post everything at the same time because different platforms.
Maybe that's what hurts it.
Yeah, different platforms have different times. You know what I mean? And again, sometimes Instagram is changing all the time, where it's like if you post at 2 a.m., it doesn't matter. So it's actively changing so much.
Important too, looking through the eye of the consumer. If I follow you on all three platforms and I see the same thing 3 times in a row,
got it.
I'm not going to be as likely to share it with people and stuff like that.
Okay, what about, this may be a little conspiracy theory, but maybe more for TikTok. But I was told that if you film and edit in the app and do it natively in the app, it'll do better.
I've seen that, but to be honest with you,
You don't think it's true?
I don't know. I think just TikTok's big on telling a story, right? People want to be engaged, and I think that's what's going to get you your best result. I don't think any of those things are going to hurt or help you in the long run, to be honest with you.
I think, they say this, but the problem is how long does that last?
Yeah.
After 3 months, 4 months, they're like, that we don't like that algorithm, and then we're change it. I think drop all that stuff. Keep it simple, stupid. I always like to say, if you could be consistent, post the content, and it's stuff that you're having fun with and you like, and stuff like content we make, we have fun with it. We make content that's engaging and building the brand. I don't care about all the craziness, right? Don't follow it, because if it's changing so much, you're gonna embed yourself in that. You're gonna drive yourself crazy. So I think it makes more sense to just be consistent, be proactive, be active, and let the algorithm do its thing.
I think it's Chris has said this, that said, you don't necessarily love the viral video.
Viral's hard, right? Because you get a ton of views, right? Which is great. How many follows do you get from it depends on the video. And then from there, are those followers in your area, right? I mean, we work with a lot of restaurants, so local is going to be important to us, not as much those viral pushes, which like it's great, but I want those people that live close to the restaurant to be coming all the time, to be engaging with your stuff. I don't want the person that lives in California, like, awesome, they saw it. When are they going to come to your restaurant, really?
Yeah.
And is it important then at that point, right? Shares are more what I want. Those are people who are clicking a button, like, and actually sending it to their friends, saying,
With their
let's try
network.
this place possibly,
Yeah.
right? And it's building your network with their network a little bit better. And it's people who are more local to your business. And I
Better
think it's
growth.
a better ROI.
I have to ask this question. What's one of the things that, and I'll give a quick example, the voice revolution, although for SEO is important because long tail is there, natural speech is there. However, it was supposed to be, we were going to do Google on, the Echo Dot and Siri and our phone and the Siri Home. And, so all of our SEO guys were like, hey, we're going to go prepare for long tail, which is still correct. But the revolution of voice search didn't pan out. And a lot of people bet on that. They got it wrong.
Yeah.
Was there one thing, before we get to what you got right, was there one thing that you guys got wrong in the social media game so far?
You know what? It's. I feel like it is a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's one thing I could pinpoint to getting things wrong. I mean, this is probably for any entrepreneur, anyone growing a business. You're gonna mess up a lot. Doesn't matter.
course.
You know what I mean? But you learn from it. That's
Yeah.
the most important thing. So for us, I think it's just kind of feeling out the trends and seeing if there is a take rate on it. Just like you said, the voice thing never stuck. But for us, it's like, is this a trend that's gonna last? Is this a trend that's now gonna be something that's a staple for us? And kind of how do we kind of pan that out? Now,
I can't
yes.
think of one thing.
Yeah, go for it.
Not filming in live service, like during service hours for restaurants. That was something maybe we didn't do much when we started because we were like,
Trying to be sensitive to the
you should be
time.
close.
Yeah.
And I think now it's really benefiting a lot of our customers, kind of getting their customers enjoying,
Yes.
right? And kind of filming the whole experience more than just the food sometimes.
You hit a nail on the head because we just had for New Jersey Digest, we had a place that used this in the past, right? And they're going to re-up. And in the conversation, he actually said, I want you guys to experience a meal. I don't want to shut the place down. Not that he didn't want to give us the time, but I want you to experience what everybody else experiences. So we kind of split up our team a little bit because we're getting bigger. So whenever we do any activation, we tell the people we're going to come to eat and we're just going to film our experience as we go along. And those videos tended to do better than the dedicated photo shoots.
They're pushing much harder for us right now than anything else. And I think people are very conditioned at this point to see that, to where you can do that.
Yeah.
And to where people really don't mind. I mean, we always ask for permission when we film, but also most people are more than likely to say, yes, I'd love to be on camera when they're out. They enjoy it. They like to be part of the community that they're there for. So
There are a lot of people that hate it, though.
there are a lot of people
For
that
sure.
hate it too. Yeah,
Get
sadly.
that camera out of my face.
So how do you, because we had a client in the past that has this large social media following, but the culture of the business wasn't very social friendly. Like literally nobody, like to the point we said, hey, like we sent somebody one time and she asked, hey, can we film you? And he's like, no, and it got awkward. So we actually asked them, please give us an opt-in and opt-out. So we know, hey, Chris and Mike are in, so it's not awkward.
Yeah.
And Joey and Steve aren't. So like that's how bad it was. What do you do with a business that the person who's paying you or the leader of the business is in on it, but the staff is just not?
Well, I think we run into that a lot, and Chris could probably elaborate better than me, but I feel like there are some people, including the staff. Now, it's tough because it's like, hey, we're paying you to be here to work, and we're filming that, and it's a public, scene, so it's like not something, but you want to respect people's space, of course. Now, I mean, I'm sure we've ran into multiple situations that I could think of that the staff is like, I don't want to be part of it at all, but you know what it is? They look like they're not having fun now because now everyone else is part of the party having, throwing food and having a good time. So.
Yeah, when we're kind of, most of our clients, we like to think of ourselves as part of the staff, right?
Yeah.
I get to know these people face to face and on the ground so that when I show up, they want to be on camera. They want to talk to us. It's a good time for everyone. And that's kind of what I was telling you prior is that we have a good time at our shoots, right? We like to have fun. For me, it's not work. I know for them, it probably is a little bit, but at the same time, as long as everybody's happy, most of the time, we're getting the result that we want.
Yeah.
All right. So are you more of a get it done guys? Like, hey, like let's film. Let's just, again, like let's just say you're really newer to this. just continue to put content out there, kind of see what works, what doesn't? Are you more of a plan narrative to build a brand? Give us kind of like the pros and cons of just get it done because you're doing nothing versus, you know what, let's sharpen the saw for 7 hours if we're going to take 8 hours to cut down the tree. So I want to see both sides of it.
I mean, for me, running a business, we obviously want to have a kind of a time cap on things,
Yeah.
right? To make sure that we're efficient. I think that we do go over sometimes just to make sure that we do get that really crispy stuff that we want for our customers. But at the same time, also the type of clips we typically do, if it's more social media digesting, sometimes imperfect stuff actually is better. You know what I mean? And that's sometimes what it ends up working out anyway. I mean, Chris will probably say almost the same thing, I think.
Yeah, I think there's like both ends to that.
But I mean, realistically, yeah, that type of you could try to do everything perfect, I think too. And just being that kind of perfect cookie cutter stuff, like we are making movies. I think that our quality of video and content that we produce is one of the highest in, I would say, the New Jersey tri-state area. And we live on that, and that's what we harp on, and we do make really great stuff. But at the same time, we do it in our time frame that we're there to usually, that we're there for. It's typically a 2.5 to 3 hour shoot, and we've been sharpening the saw essentially for a few years, and now we have some of the guys, the contract workers that work for us and people that help us out, and we work with all these lovely restaurants. It just keeps getting better and better. And I think the first time you go to the last time we went last week, say, it's a totally different view from the first time to when it really starts to get crispy.
The first shoot is terrible.
Correct. The first shoot's almost always 3.5, 4 hours because you just get to know people, So I think that essentially is what exactly, the saw sharpens itself. And it gets better and better as we work with people. And that's how we set up our expectations. Listen, it's going to be a bad shoot the first time. We're just letting you know. It's going to be a few hours. We're going to waste food. No one's going to be in sync. But by shoot 2, 3, 4, you're going to have some of the best content out of every restaurant in your area.
Yeah, restaurateurs, they are notorious for wanting results. And it's not direct marketing. It's not like you post and people rush in. But over a while, people do decide to come in. When you start to see the efficacy or the effectiveness of a good social program?
So ROI, I think, could be instantaneous when it comes to social media. Now, when you have someone like a Dave Portnoy that comes in, I've talked to a few owners that have had him come in. It's great for 3 months. 3 months. Yeah. That's it. After 3 months, they got to stop buying extra dough because there's a line out the door. What we like to do is build a brand. And building a brand is just like not building Rome in a day. It takes time. Yeah. And for us, it's going to take 30, 60, 90 days before we really see your kind of whole outlook of your social media, your brand presence change. Now, I want that restaurant that we worked with or any customer, when I'm on social media because I want to get something to eat and I'm looking at stuff, I want to be drooling. And that's when we feel the ROI kicks in. We see more clicks. We see everything. Once the brand feels like it actually has a presence and we're building that brand, whether it's not just social, but web, SEO, and using it for advertisement purposes, that's when we really start to see that ROI. And it takes a little bit of time.
And I mean, that's also, I think, how you become a household name, right? I mean, a lot of these guys, they're newer guys. They're just starting on social media and their businesses, and they want to be, this name that everybody knows. But it's like that wasn't an overnight thing for most of these restaurants, right? I mean, because they did this every day and built their brand perfectly. I mean, now we see if you work with more hospitality groups, when they're opening a restaurant, everything is to a T before they open even. Their socials, their websites, everything.
The lead up.
Because they know they want to build that name as they build the business itself.
Correct.
So 3-part question. Question 1, when shouldn't people use you? 2, if they're in the New Jersey, New York area, should use you. And number 3, if they're not in that area, but they want to hire a turbo type, what are some factors to consider before hiring? So first, let's go, why shouldn't somebody use a TRBO Media?
I can answer that. I think.
Go for it.
2 parts to it. 1, if you can't afford it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't stretch yourself thin. 2 would be if it's your last be all, you kind of putting all your eggs in one basket on it. This is not that game for that, right? Social media is an unpredictable beast. And while it can get you great results, you can spend a lot of money and hurt yourself a lot too. It's a dangerous game to play. Okay. It is, but it comes with really good results. So,
okay. So when should you? You know what? Hey, I'm watching this. I'm in northern New Jersey. You know what? I heard of you guys. Definitely heard of some of the places you because I've seen you guys online. when should they call you guys?
I think that first kind of introductory call happens when they realize that they don't want to post on social media every day using their cell phone, right? They want to elevate their business. For us, we want to take your business to the next level. We want to create that. And I think, when a restaurant has high quality food, high quality dishes, all this fancy stuff, why shouldn't your marketing and media match that quality? That's when the restaurateur, wants to step it up to the next level. That's when they should pick up the phone, call us and hire us. And they want someone to help build their true brand image of the restaurant.
So I'm not in the area. I'm thinking of hiring a TRBO type media firm, TRBO Media type firm. What questions should I ask?
Yeah. I think realistically, you should always, ask first and foremost, which we want to ask is what's your budget? We want to make sure that we're all on the same page. And you as a restaurateur should ask, hey, this is what I'm looking to spend a month. This is what I'm looking for my end result. That's the biggest thing. Yeah. What are your expectations of this? Because if you think in 2 months, you're going to have 1 million followers and you're never going to be able to close the door, it's probably not a good fit. You probably need to look at some other things. Yeah. And there's a lot more marketing assets that need to be done just to make that happen besides just content. So,
and are there overnight successes? Yes. Don't get us wrong. We've doubled, tripled people's Instagrams by accident. Not by accident. We've done that and it's come well. But at the same time, we're doing it for other people and they're not having as well as of a growth sometimes. That's just the game, right? And
it goes back to baking the cake. You need all the ingredients, right? And that's kind of what it is. You need to be able to really, if you're going to hire us, we don't want you just to use us for social media. Yeah. I want you to take us and help build that brand image for your web, for your social, for your menus, menu boards. If it's not a restaurant, because we're happy to work with anyone for content purposes, we want to make sure it's the right fit,
And budget's big because we can work with the budget, right?
Yeah.
Let us know what you want to spend and we can show you what we can deliver and how we can use it to get your results.
Yeah.
I love it. Where does AI fit in?
AI is funky, man. It's been coming around. It's new for everyone, right? AI fits in, in a lot of things, right? Like in today's podcast, we're going to use a little bit of AI. For us, I think AI is best fitting in for TRBO Media has been photography. And I think anyone who's used Photoshop is going to tell you that the AI stuff, when it first came out, you were like, not bad. And it's really getting really good. Like you really could take a photo with 100 people in it and just take them all out.
I have a quick story about AI even. We shot milkshakes, probably 23 of them for a business. And they needed them for Uber Eats. We shot them vertical. So the photo wasn't long enough. Extended every single one, didn't have to do a reshoot, right? So what does that do for us? It saves us money and the customer money because the customer did not articulate that in the moment.
Time.
Which was a mistake.
Because back in the day, you would have to manually do it.
100%.
We would have to go back, either manually do it or go back and reshoot. Which one's faster? How are they going to get a faster result? I don't even know. I think it'd be faster to reshoot it than to actually manually do it at that point. Yeah. So it saves everybody money and it does save some time.
Nice. All right. So I'm going to wrap up. How can we find you guys?
Yeah, so TRBO Media, TRBO. So that's going to be turbomedia.com. You could grab us. You could always get us on social media, TRBO Media. And you can find us at probably all of your local restaurants that you are in North Jersey, South Jersey, trying to get all over the place. So that's the goal.
Love this. Cool. I'm definitely going to have you guys back. So I want to hear more about the growth of your company, and congratulations on everything. And this has been fun.
Thank you. Appreciate the time.
Appreciate you.